Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another session of Webinar Wednesday. Today our topic is on market trends. Okay, so for those of you who are new to us, or should I say new to our training, market trends is one of the, I would say one of the more useful or more popular tools that we have, because it can help you to answer some of the common questions that your clients might have. Things like, oh, should I buy freehold or leasehold? Is freehold really better? Is leasehold really cannot buy? Should I buy new launches or resale? Which location should I buy? Or should I buy a shoebox unit, or should I go for something, invest in a bigger unit? Okay, so these are different things that you can, different questions that you can answer your clients using market trend. Okay, so it's really powerful and really useful. So it's really good to have all of you here today. Okay, so this is not the first time we are running a session on market trend. Okay, but for those of you who are here, the good thing is that if you have any questions that you might have along the way, you can put it inside the live chat, okay, so that I will be able to answer them, and maybe if required, I can also demonstrate and show you guys how to do it via the live YouTube. Okay, so let's get started. Quick disclaimer here. Okay, sometimes I may say that, oh, based on this, it seems that this is a better buy. Okay, but it is also how you want to interpret the charts lah, huh? Okay, now very importantly, if you don't know who your account managers are yet, okay, this is the time to save their numbers. So we have three ladies here, Celeste, Zuki, and Sherry. They are your account managers. Depending on which agency you are from, do contact your respective account managers. They will be able to help you not just for signing up or renewing, but if you do need help with some simple, oh, which tool should I be using? I want to get this kind of info. They will also be the best person to reach out to. Okay, so they are also quite well versed with the tools. So in most cases, they would be able to assist you from there. Okay. Also, you can also reach out to them if you come across any technical issues that you might face. Okay. Alternatively, if you can't reach them, we also have the office hotline, which is on the top left hand corner, 62328688. You'll be able to reach our office from there. Of course, this is only during office hours, 9 to 5 p.m. Okay, if it's at night and all that, your account managers will still be the best people to reach out to. Of course, do give them some time to get back to you. Sometimes it's late or it could be the weekend, so give them some time lah. Okay, so before we get started on market trend, I just want to share some of the new features and tools that we have introduced recently. Okay, one of it is called EdgeProp Plus, which is basically a library of virtual tours of the current show flats in Singapore. So over here, we actually work with or collaborate with the developers to actually do a virtual tour for the current show flats in the market right now. So if you actually scan the first QR code on the top, you will be able to see the library of virtual tours we have. I think we have more than 20 at the moment, and you'll be able to share it with your clients. Okay. The good thing is that they are from some of these show flats. Okay, in terms of the marketing rights belongs to different agencies, so you will also be able to show show flats belonging to maybe your potential co-broke agents. Okay, so you can show the show flats before actually going down to the actual show flat itself. Okay, I know that we are already in phase 2, and you guys can actually do face-to-face viewings already. But I do foresee that virtual tours are here to stay. It also does really help in terms of, in terms of logistics wise, because you don't need to arrange to go down. Sometimes client may be busy, you may be busy, and it's good to do your shortlisting and narrowing down online before going down to the actual show flat. Okay. There is another one called the guided show flat virtual tours. These are actually recorded videos, okay, with the project developers representative or project ICs going through the entire show flat. That means they will cover things like the model, the site plan, the show unit itself, as well as floor plans and the maybe pros or key selling points of that particular project. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more, you can also check out the second QR code, which is the guided show flat virtual tours. Okay, so all these is entirely free. They are paid for by the developer, so do make full use of them to sell. Okay. Now another product that we launched during the circuit breaker period is EdgeProp Cast. So what is this? This is a bit different from EdgeProp Plus. Plus is virtual tours. EdgeProp Cast is videos. Okay, so if you are one of the agents who actually create your own videos, it could be a video on a particular listing, okay, or it could be a video on educating potential property buyers on where to buy, what to buy, how's the market going, or it could be on interior design. So anything related to property, you would be able to feature yourself on EdgeProp Cast. Okay, so think of it like the Netflix for property. Okay, so you have all the different channels, all the different kind of property types, different content, education, interior design, and it's really good for potential buyers and sellers, okay, who might want to get to know you a little bit better. Okay, so it's good for your branding. It is also good if you're selling a particular listing and you might just get a lead from there. Okay, so this again is entirely free at the moment. Do register with us by scanning the QR code, and if you want to find out a little bit more, you can actually contact us at the contact number on the bottom right, 9452-9197. Okay, so later I will show you where exactly is EdgeProp Cast on the website. Okay, now this is another one that we just launched. We just started last week. Okay, just started last week. So if you haven't heard of it, we have this new program. I don't know, is it called a program or not, which allows you to reach out to me. Okay, so if you have a very question that is not so clear cut, okay, maybe the trainings that you have attended, including today's one, you feel that you would prefer to interact with me, you can actually scan the QR code and book a consultation slot with me. Of course, don't ask me to go through the entire all the different tools that we have. Though I won't be able to share within 15-20 minutes all the tools that we have. Okay, but rather if you come across a situation, maybe I'm serving this client and I'm having this problem. He's not willing to listen to the price that I suggest to him, or I don't know how to convince him that freehold it is not necessary to buy freehold, something like that. Okay, so if you have a very specific question or situation that you might come across and you think that I will be able to help you with, okay, do scan the QR code and book a slot. Currently now, I think we are fully booked next week. So the next earliest slot would be from the 4th of August. So this is every Tuesday, 4th of August and 11th of August. This is the first month that we're trying this out. So do scan the QR code. Of course, try and provide me with a bit more info so that I will be able to prepare for your session before it happens. Okay, some of you have very chim questions that maybe I also don't know. So I need to go and do my homework first. Okay. Of course, if you have some generic questions, just ask your account manager. They'll be able to help you, and you won't need to wait so long before you reach out to me. Okay. Now, let's get started with today's training on market trend. So I'm going to now toggle to the website. Okay, and this is the EdgeProp.sg website. Okay, do take note for market trend, you will not be able to use it via the EdgeProp agent app. Okay, market trend is not in the EdgeProp agent app at the moment. So you must use the website. Okay, you must go to edgeprop.sg or via the browser. That means if you're using iPhone, maybe Safari, Chrome, these two would be the most ideal browsers to use. Okay, so just now I shared a little bit on EdgePropcast. So if you mouse over, you can find it here on the main page. And you can see all the different property types, the different categories, different channels. Let me just show you how the page looks like. Okay. So we have, I think, about 70, 80 or even more agents on board already. So if you have your own content, don't forget to join us here, okay? At the moment, entirely free. You can see some are more education related. Some are focused more on a particular listing, okay? So you have different people on board, different channels. So don't miss out. Okay, so let's move on to the tools today. So to go to market trend, you need to mouse over tools and look under the section called free tools. So is market trends entirely free to use? Not really. Okay, if you want to have the function that allows you to do comparison, if you want the function that allows you to see the transaction details down to the unit number, you must have a subscription with us. Okay, you must subscribe to Pro Tools. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. Oops, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so over here, right on the top, you can see that there are different filters that you can put in. So if let's say I just want one trend, okay, I'm not doing any comparison. I want to know how the trend is like for a particular project. I can put in the project name. Okay. All I need to do is to click on the relevant drop down. I'll be able to generate the trend for that project. Okay. Do take note, of course, for if let's say this is all that you need, you can also get the trend details from research. Okay, research is our home report, and you'll be able to get a longer time period. In fact, if you were to search via research and not market trend. Okay, so that's if you want a specific project. Okay, alternatively, if you want a generic trend line based on the tenure, based on the property type or subtype. Okay, so all of them you can see is listed here. Based on the districts or the regions, do take note for region, we have broken it down into the central, east, north, northeast, and west region. It is currently not in the OCR, RCR, CCR format because there are certain overlap with district and the three regions. So, but we are working on it to let you have an option whether you prefer to go by the district format or by the OCR, CCR, RCR. Okay, but that is coming up soon, but not now. Okay, so over here you can select multiple regions or multiple districts if you want to, and you can also select or create the trend based on the transaction type. Okay, some of you may only want to be looking at the new sales. Some of you may be looking at resale. Some looking at the rental trends. Okay, of course, for sub-sale, not so many at the moment because of the measures in place that doesn't encourage sub-sale very much. But if you really do want to look at sub-sale, it can be done also. Okay. And then lastly, you would be able to generate the trend based on the property size. Okay, so maybe if you want to know how the shoebox units are doing, you can set the size 0 to 500. Okay, so just for demonstration purpose, I'm just going to use to generate a trend based on the whole of Singapore apartment condo. Okay, so I didn't change most of the other filters, but you can do so if you want to. Okay, so you can have more than one change in the different filters if you want to. I just want a very basic one. I just want to know the apartment condo trend in the whole of Singapore. Okay. So over here, you can see that there's a results for and a compare with. So in this case, there is no comparison. Therefore, you can see that there's no compare with results here. Okay. Now I'm going to scroll to the bottom here, and you can see that I have a timeline here, August 2017 to July 2020. So by default, our timeline is based on last 3 years. Okay. There are two sliders here. You can see the square. You can shift both of them. The maximum you can go is up to the last 25 years. Okay, last 25 years. Of course, do take note, if you're looking at specific project, it may not go on as far. Okay, this is if you're doing a search based on non-project specific. Okay, so you can go all the way to last 25 years, and you will notice when you shift the slider, the details would change accordingly. Okay, over here, these are the volume. Okay, the number of units that was transacted during the selected time period, and this is the average price. Okay, with the growth rate as well. Okay, so if you see the gray color line that goes through the chart, that is the average price. And how do you work out the growth rate? It is based on the very first point, okay, all the way until the very last point. So that means to say from 1232 per square foot, it grew 30% and it became 1606 per square foot. Okay, so that's how we work it out. We will not take into account all the ups and downs that happens in between. So if you want to account for a certain time period, okay, maybe let's say I want to know from this point, okay, from November 2014, how much it fell until here, then I will need to adjust the time bar accordingly. So it'll be November 2014 to 2015, something like that. Okay, then it will zoom on the growth rate for that particular time period. Okay, now another thing that I would like to highlight is by default, we would be looking at the monthly average prices and volume. Okay, so everything is broken down into monthly. You can see June, July, every individual month, and then you can see the average price for that month as well. So do take note, sometimes it would be actually advisable to look at quarterly and yearly as well. Why is that so? Because sometimes a specific month, a particular month, in terms of the prices and the volume, it could be affected by, oh, just nice that month there was a new launch. Just nice that project has a lot of, managed to sell a lot of one-bedroom units. So usually the smaller units per square foot is higher, and that caused a spike in the prices. So we want to try to be more balanced, okay? Especially for monthly, you'll notice, right? Let me just zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom in. You'll notice that in terms of the every month up and down, it can be more erratic, okay? So you might want to toggle to quarterly or yearly. That would actually help to smoothen out the line a little bit, okay? And it will be in a way fairer, okay? When you're looking at the growth rate from one to another, okay? You can also toggle to yearly. Do take note, when you change the time period here, the time bar, the slider, okay, would change also. So always make sure that you are comparing a somewhat similar time period. If not, it will be very different in terms of the growth rate. Okay. Okay, so let me move on. Just now I mentioned that when you are looking at the different charts, so what you can do is you can mouse over each of the time period. Now I'm in quarterly, so it's broken down into quarterly. Just now was monthly, and you can also do yearly. Okay, so every of these bars and that specific price for that time period, you can actually click on it. Okay, you can click on each of all these bars, and what will happen is that you will be able to see the actual transactions that happen for that time period. Okay, and we will also show you the number of transactions. So just now I clicked on the quarter, uh, and you can see that all the different projects and the number of transactions are listed here. Okay, so that means that particular quarter that I click on, in that quarter, the top selling is Gem Residences. And in that quarter, there was a total of 299 transactions. Do take note, all these headers here, postal, district, project name, tenure, number of transaction, all these, you can use it to do your sorting. Okay, so by default, it is sorted by the number of transactions, highest to lowest. So you want to know which are the top 10 projects that sold best in this quarter this year. You can do that. Okay, it could be monthly or yearly as well, depending on the time period that you select. You can also do a sorting based on district. Okay, so in ascending or descending order, you can also sort by project name, A to Z, Z to A. Okay, what is transaction value? Just to let you guys know, this is the total number, total price added together. So this 299 units that was transacted, in terms of the price, if you add them all up, it would be 270 million. Okay, and for these 299 transactions, this is the minimum, average, and maximum prices. So on average, most of it, the prices is around 1,427. Okay, so that's how you read it. All these different projects, you can click on it further to see the actual transactions that happen down to the unit number. Okay, so when I click on it, all these transactions, if you add up the number of transactions, it will be 299. Okay, so over here you can see the date it was transacted. Okay, the number, the unit number, the whether it's a condo, apartment, landed, or whatever you wish shown here. Okay, we have the tenure. We will show you whether it's new sale, sub-sale, resale. Okay, the unit size, whether it is strata or landed, and then the price in terms of per square foot and quantum. Okay, so full record can be found here as well. Now, so this is basically an individual chart. Okay, so you can see I only created one chart with price and volume overlapping each other. Okay, so you can see my price here, and then the bars below is the volume. Okay, now I'm going to go through the second part of market trend, which is if you want to do comparison. So if you see over here, there is this button called compare with other property types, maximum 3. Okay, so what I can do is when I click on this, okay, I will be able to compare two. So on top is apartment, condo. Maybe here I want to compare with HDB. Okay, so in this case, I will have two price lines. Okay, or I can choose to click on it again to compare up to 3. So maybe I want to do one for landed. Okay, of course, you can also choose the subtypes if you want to, or you can compare the other filters as well. Okay, so now I'm just comparing based on property type, but I can also choose to say that, oh, I want to compare district 9, 10, 11 versus 15, 16 versus 19, 20. I can also choose to compare freehold versus leasehold. I can also choose to compare new sale versus resale. Okay, or I can also compare the property size 0 to 500, that means your shoebox, versus the 1,000 to 1,005. So how are the price trending? Okay, these are all the different possible ways for you to do comparison. Okay, but let me just do the simple one here for you to see. So what I'm doing here is I'm comparing apartment, condo, HDB, and landed. Okay, and then for the rest of the filters, for simplicity's sake, I will just keep it the same. Okay, so let's click on compare. And over here you can see. So now, now that I am doing a comparison, you'll be able to see different colors. Okay, so I have the red color, which is the original chart, apartment condo, and I also compared it with HDB and landed, green color and blue color. Okay, so when I do a comparison, the time period for monthly still remains the same, last 3 years. However, now I have three different price lines. Okay, the three different price lines, and I can toggle price or volume. Okay, so you can see over here, I can toggle price or volume. Let me go back to price first. Okay, and also you would be able to see the growth rate for each individual line. Okay, so over here it seems that the one that is doing the best based on last 3 years, okay, the one where the prices has been growing a lot more is apartment condo at 13%. Okay, for landed we saw a growth of 3%. And for HDB, it seems that it's like a flat line, huh? Like your hospital. Okay. So that means if you have bought a property in the resale HDB market, chances are not making any money. Okay, based on last 3 years. Okay. Of course, when you toggle to quarterly or yearly, this number would change. However, when it changes, also do take note on the time period. Okay. So over here, this is October 2011 to July 2020. Let's make it somewhat the same as just now. So I will change it to 2017 July lah. Okay. Okay. So this is about last 3 years as well. Okay. And you can see the growth rate 14, -1, and 8. So there is some slight difference. It seems that actually landed isn't that bad. Okay, just now was 3%, now it's 8%. So that is why I say it is always important to always toggle to quarterly or yearly, because what we're looking at is the first point to the last point. If just now is that particular month there was a drop, then it's not being fair to that particular field that you put in, right? So always try to toggle to quarterly and yearly. Make sure that in terms of growth rate wise, it is more or less singing the same song. Okay, so the most least reliable one usually would be monthly. Okay, because it really depends on each individual month. But quarterly and yearly would most likely say the same thing. Okay, so as long as two or more of these are saying the same thing in terms of growth rates, okay, there's no major difference in the records, you would be able to use it safely lah. Okay, so if I toggle to yearly, of course yearly, then again the time period changes, so maybe I want to shift it to 2017. Okay, one more year. Okay, okay, so this would be January to January lah. Okay, so 16, -1, 14. So actually, if you look at it collectively from a year-to-year basis, actually the apartment condo and landed very close. Okay, it's not like just now. If you look at monthly, it was 13 and 3, something like that, right? Yeah. So this one actually, they are not too far apart if you look at it on a yearly basis. However, it seems that for HDB, it was always around the 0, -1, or 1%. Okay, but all three, monthly, quarterly, and yearly, are saying the same thing lah, that HDB is the least performing, followed by landed, and then of course the best would be apartment condo. Okay, so same thing, all these, when you mouse over, is interactive. Again, you can click on the chart if you want to. It will show you the actual transactions that happen, or the projects that was transacted. So just now I click on the blue color line where the dot is. So these are for the landed transactions. Okay, So if I had clicked on the green color below, it will show me the HDB transactions. Okay, so depending on where you click. Alternatively, you can also toggle to volume, and volume would be able to you'll be able to see where the transactions are coming from. So over here, if let's say we look at 2019, okay, 2019, because 2020 is not over yet. Based on 2019, the most number of transactions is still HDB, okay? HDB is still bread and butter, right? 22,000 transactions, followed by apartment condo, 16,000 transactions, and landed, usually lesser, about 1,005. Okay, this year, and you can see the breakdown: 42, 55, and 4. This year, is it the same? Seems like the number of transactions for HDB went up, volume went up. Okay, landed about the same. Just that for apartment condo it fell, and then it was replaced by HDB transactions in terms of percentage wise. Okay, so from here maybe you can see how the market is behaving in terms of volume as well as price. Okay, okay, I see a question here. Emily cannot scroll to select the landed type of property and scroll down to select different district. How to scroll? Emily, I'm using laptop, but it should be the same as desktop per se. Okay, so if let's say you want to click, right? So when you click on the property type, for example, the what is it? The type of property. Okay, so let's say here, okay, over here on the right hand side, you see there's this slider. You see this slider here. So it should be able to, for you to drag, okay, at the side there's a slider that allows you to drag so that you can move, okay, or you can tap. So you need to tap within the box, okay, tap within the box so that it will slide within the window rather than the main page. Okay, I hope that would help. Okay, so you need to tap within the box so that you can scroll. Okay, LK Low, are on-block sales projects included in the historical data, not an accurate data as price is based on? Okay, LK Low, all these transactions are based on the normal transactions, not the on-block ones. Okay, not the on-block ones. So if let's say it was on-block and then there's a deal between the buyer and the owners, they will not be reflected here. Okay, they will not be reflected here. If you want to see the per PPR, okay, the per square foot plot ratio, all these, you can check under land sales. So we have another tool. When you mouse over tools, you look for land sales. That will tell you how much the developer paid for the land, okay, and how much it is likely to price moving forward for the new project. But the individual buy over from the existing owners, those transactions will not be here. Okay, my desktop don't have the slider. Okay, okay, let me see how. Would you be able to tap within the box? That means I click within the box, Emily, click within the box and then maybe use the up down arrow, because usually laptop and desktop should be the same, or you use the scroller, but you must tap within the box lah. Okay, so let me just show you a few more examples, commonly asked questions. So one of it would be freehold versus leasehold. Okay, I'm just going to use apartment condo for easy comparison, but if you want to do for others, you can also. So let's say I want to know how the freeholds are performing versus the leasehold. Okay, so let's say I change back to apartment condo. Oops. Okay, I change back to apartment condo. And now I'm going to choose 999. Okay, so I will choose freehold and 999. 999 is quite close to freehold versus 999 for apartment condo. So I click on compare. Okay, so over here you can see I have apartment condo versus apartment condo. Everything else is the same except the tenure. Okay, so in case you are wondering which one is performing better, let's take a look. Okay, so over here you can see based on last 3 years, 14%, 14%. That means on the overall, the growth rate is the same. Okay, so does it mean leasehold is better or freehold is better? According to this, seems like same. Okay, so how do we work out the growth rate? Will be first point in August 2017 until the current point in July 2020. Of course, July is not complete yet lah. Okay. However, you would notice that if you look at this chart, there is a lot of up and down. Okay. This kind of chart, if you see a lot of erratic movement, every month is different, try not to use it, okay? Because if, let's say I change the time period slightly different, let's say I shift from July 2020 to August 2019, okay, just a few months, 1 year apart, you look at the growth rate, so different, 29% versus 10%. If I had shifted it to February 2020, you have 17 and 28%. So it seems that every time period that you adjust, sometimes freehold better, sometimes leasehold better, sometimes same. Like that, how to use, right? Okay, so in this case, if you see the both lines, both price trend or all three price trend, a lot of up and down, don't use. Okay, use quarterly or yearly. Now I'm going to change to quarterly now. Okay, quarterly. And you notice now the line is smoother, right? Because every 3 months added into 1 quarter. Okay, so usually that would be a better representative. Okay, so in this case, according to quarterly, it seems that the, It seems that the 99 years is growing faster than the freehold. Interesting, Let's see whether it is the same case for yearly or not. Okay, so we want to make sure at least 2 of these monthly, quarterly, yearly is singing the same song. Are they talking about the same direction or not? Okay, so let's look at yearly. Okay, 136 versus 149. Of course, when you toggle from monthly, quarterly to yearly, the time period changes. Okay, so if you want it to be as apple to apple as possible, make sure to set the time period. Okay, so if I didn't set the time period, I'm just looking at it randomly. It seems that quarterly, yearly are both saying that the growth rate for 99 years is better. Okay, so let's try and compare somewhat similar lah. Okay, I'm going to toggle to say let's do 5 years. Okay, so 2015 to 2020, same thing, growth rate seems that the 99 is doing better than freehold. Okay, 20% versus 30%. Let's toggle to quarterly and also set last 5 years. Okay. Okay, now, so this is 2011, so I want to shift to 2015. Okay, maybe July lah. Okay, July, somewhat July. Okay, so 20% versus 38%. So in this case, both quarterly and yearly is telling you that 99 years is better. So some of you might be stunned, Really? Okay. Now, do take note, of course, there are other factors that would also affect the pricing. Okay. So this difference in terms of growth rate for freehold versus leasehold could also be affected by other things. Okay. One of it which I personally feel would affect quite a bit, is the type of sale. Okay, currently now we are all looking at all sales. Okay, however, if you are familiar with all these transactions for apartment condo, okay, usually for freehold property, okay, freehold property, in order for it to be a new launch, it has to go through, high chance it has to go through en bloc, okay. However, for the new sales, okay, most of the new sales, you would have more that falls under government land sales, and those are all your 99 years. So that means when I'm comparing all sales over here, what I'm doing is I'm comparing a lot of freehold resale, and then I'm also comparing a lot more of the new launch for double nine. Okay, so if I want to be a bit fairer in that sense, maybe what I can do is, let's see new sales versus new sales. Okay, so same thing, 10-year is different, and now I have zoomed in to all new sales. Let's see whether there is any difference. Just now it's about 20 to 38, there about, so about slightly double. Okay, if I toggle all to new sales, okay, all to new sales, okay, again, I don't think I want to use monthly because there's a lot of up and down. So by shifting the time period, the growth rate changes on a month-to-month basis. So that's not good. Okay, so let's look at quarterly. Okay, 59.61, quite close, huh? Let's look at last 5 years. Okay, let's look at last 5 years. And when we look at the yearly one also, we look at last 5 years. So here you see 41% versus 40%. Actually, quite close, not much difference. Okay, let's see if yearly says the same thing or not. Okay, so yearly stops at January 2020. Okay, so we will look at January 2015. Okay, 37 versus 32. Okay, again, it seems that quite close. In this case, if you're basing on a yearly, year to year, it seems that the freehold is doing better than the leasehold. Okay, so you will notice, monthly says that if you're looking at quarterly, the leasehold is better than freehold. If you're looking at yearly, okay, no, I think quarterly was about the same. Okay, and then on yearly basis, seems that the freehold is doing a bit better. Okay, and then on monthly is a bit different again. So usually try to ensure at least two of these time periods are singing the same song. Then you'll be very firm in terms of knowing whether is it really which is better than the other. So in this case, okay, just now we saw that we did one which is the all sales, okay, freehold versus leasehold all sales, and then that one you saw that the 99 was doing much better than the freehold. When we look at only the new sales, actually the freehold and the leasehold, I would say is about the same. Okay, it's about the same. And then let's try one more. Okay, let's try one more. Let's compare resale versus resale. Okay, because eventually all these properties are going to become resale, right? So how would they perform after it is back into the resale market? Okay, so there's a lot of things that you all need to consider when you're generating the chart, because sometimes it may not be fair to use monthly or different time period will have different results. Okay, so this is same thing. Okay, monthly last 3 years, 5%, 1%, same thing. There's a lot of up and down, so I don't like to use this, or I don't recommend using this. Let's look at quarterly. Okay, and I would toggle to last 5 years. Okay, you can set whichever time period. Just make sure that when you're comparing quarterly and yearly as similar time period as possible. Okay, so 13% versus 15%. Okay, so if you look at this, the leasehold is doing better than the freehold by a little bit lah. I would say they're quite similar. Okay, in terms of the growth rate for the resale market. Okay, and if I try yearly, let's see if it is about the same also. So I will shift to 2015, and we are looking at 12% versus 20%, okay, in the resale market. So for those of you who, because in most cases, clients would think that freehold is definitely better than leasehold. I think we have shown in most so far that it is not necessarily the case, right? So there were a few chances where I tried all sales. I also tried resale. That in this case, resale seems to be doing better. Sometimes freehold is doing better. So I would say actually it does. It seems that the tenure doesn't really affect the growth rate. What matters more could be other things. Okay, so maybe just to put it into some example, okay, if let's say for those of you familiar with Pasir Ris, okay, let's say we compare a freehold versus a leasehold, project to project, you can do that also. So let's say I want to compare, of course try and choose something of similar time period, okay. Let's say I compare one which is Coco Palms, okay, right beside the MRT, 5 minutes walk away, compared to another one which is what is the other one? Freehold. Yeah, suddenly I cannot remember the project name. But what I'm trying to drive at is that the leasehold property, okay, even though it is leasehold, but because it is in a better location, actually in terms of the growth rate wise, it is better than a freehold that is further away from the MRT. So in that case, it seems that the location matters more than the tenure. Okay, of course, you can go and try out for yourself. You can put in the different projects, okay, and compare based on the same time period, how are the prices growing. And that would actually help you to tell whether is freehold always better than leasehold or not. Okay, and another thing would be your new launch versus resale. That's another common question that clients might have for you. Okay, you can also try that out. And so far, okay, based on what I've done before, the new launches as of current market condition, new launches are growing faster in terms of the prices as compared to resale. Okay, of course, you will still need to further zoom in to that particular project to see whether is it true or not lah. Okay, so with that, if you have any more questions, please put them in the live chat now. And meanwhile, I will answer the questions and also bring you guys to the quiz. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so for those of you who have never joined us for training before, at the end of each session, we will have a quiz. Okay, and this quiz would allow you to know whether you have managed to catch what I have been talking about in the last 1 hour. Okay, so give me a minute. Let me toggle to the quiz first. Okay. So if you have any more questions, please put them in the live chat now so that I'll be able to answer you guys. And for those of you without any more questions, okay, let me give you the link to join our quiz, right? Okay, give me a minute. Where is my market trend? Okay. So I'll need you guys to go to menti.com, okay, and use the code 77538. Okay, so if you see on my screen, you will need to type menti.com and use the code 77538 to join our quiz. Now, I know some of you guys who have attended this before, during the circuit breaker period, we gave away prizes, but now no more prizes, we ran out. Okay, but still join us lah, because you want to know whether you remember the things or not, right? And it's for fun anyway. Okay, so do join us. At least you can confirm whether you have picked up the important parts of today's training or not. Okay? Risk grandeur, correct, Clifford. Yeah, I was thinking of risk grandeur. Yeah, but actually, if you want to be even more, what do I say? If you want to be even more fairer, right? Maybe don't even use Cocoa Pumps, because Cocoa Pumps is a bit newer. Maybe use one of the other earlier ones like Pellet or something. Then you'll be able to see that even though freehold is supposedly going to cost you more and supposedly better because of the tenure, but actually when you compare, okay, at the end of the day, the leasehold actually performed better in terms of pricing, because location. Yeah, so I think as an agent, that is something that has been drilled into your heads lah, that location really matters more than anything else. Okay, so is there anyone else who would like to join our quiz? I will wait for a few more minutes or maybe a few more seconds, and then we will get started, okay? Yeah, I was thinking of Rich Grandeur. Suddenly I cannot remember the name. Okay lah. I think let's get started with the quiz. So 5 questions, okay? Those of you who are still struggling to join us, please go to menti.com on your own device. Go to menti.com, key in the code 77538, okay? 5 questions. If you are faster and accurate, you get a bit more points also. So let's see how you guys fare, okay? Okay, first question. Ooh, did I press wrongly? No good. Wait, I think I didn't do something correctly. Choto mate, let me check something. Don't know what happened here. I thought I have already reset the... Wait. I reset already leh. Don't know why cannot. Okay, enter. Okay, can already. Which of the following is not one of the search filters in market trend? So on the top, I can change different things, right? Which one is not inside? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the answer is transaction price. Okay, transaction price. I can't filter by price because it is based on all the other things. Then after that, you can click to find out what is the prices. Okay, so let me see who is leading right now. We have Yummy, Jack Wong, Esther. You guys got it right. Transaction price is not part of the search filter. Okay. Am I able to select by these 3 regions? CCR, OCR, RCR? Can you remember? 3, 2, 1. Somehow I expected a half-half. Okay, the answer is false. As of now, we break down the location, okay, by district. And for region-wise, it will be Central, East region, West region, and Northeast. Because there is some overlap with the district and the OCR, CCR, RCR. Okay, but moving forward, this will be our next improvement. We will actually work to put in this option as well, so that some of you prefer to break it down in this manner. It can be done. Okay, but as of now, not yet lah. Okay, so it seems that Jack is leading. Okay, followed by Yami and EdgeProp Xixiang. I hope this is not my account manager. Okay, how many trends can you compare? Up to how many? Is it 2, 3, or 4? Yeah, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, most of you got it right. Thankfully, maximum 3. Okay. And who is leading? Still Jack, followed by Yami and EdgeProp, I think. Okay, still the 3 of you guys. Very good. Well done, well done. Okay, few more, I think 1 or 2 more questions. What is the maximum time period you can set? If you remember. Okay, is it 10 years, 15, or 25? Dennis, you will not be able to use the market trend in the app, okay? Market trend can only be used using the browser. That means either Google Chrome or your Safari. Then you have to go to edgeprop.sg. Okay? So the answer for this is last 25 years maximum. It used to be last 10 and recently we just improved or upgraded it to last 25 so that you can also see the price up and down during the different crisis or situation that happened long time ago. Okay, so some of you, if you want to see how situations are during the SARS period, during the global financial crisis versus the current COVID, you can do so. Okay, and still Jack leading, followed by Yummy and EdgeProp. Wow, you all really 有听课啊 very good Okay, I think we have one last question here. Okay, I can see the transactions for specific monthly, quarterly, yearly by clicking on the chart. Can you see transactions or not? And the answer is true. So when you click on the different bars or you click on the line, okay, regardless whether you're in the monthly, quarterly, or yearly, you will be able to see the transactions. Okay, so if you're in the monthly, if you click, then maybe it's July 2020. If you're in quarterly, it could be Q2 2019. Okay, if it's yearly, then it's the year that you select lah. Yeah, so most of you got this right. And we have our winners. Nothing to win, just a very happy. So we have Jack. Well done. You're the one with the highest number of points. And then there's Yummy, EdgeProp. And I think most of you also got pretty decent points lah. Okay. So with that, I'm going to end today's session. If there's no more other questions, and of course, if you need more help, you can also reach out to your account managers, or if you have very specific questions that you want to know, whether it is for market trend or any of the other tools, you can also try to book a slot for Ask the Trainer. Okay, it's just a 15-20 minute slot which allows you to converse with me, I'll be able to show you my screen, or you can show me your screen, and then I can help you along the way. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. Do join us next week again. So it's every Wednesday we'll have one topic, and also remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.